Hey guys, DC Multiverse dude here. How you going? I've got something a little bit different for you today. This is probably a selfish video because I want to get some stuff off my mind. And I really just want to discuss with you generally my thoughts on the DC Multiverse line as a whole. 3 years into the line, McFarlane's had the license since 2020. I got into collecting this line in very late 2021, early 2022 actually. So it's been, under 2 years. So I'm fairly new to it, but I've seen it grow. I've got a lot of figures, hundreds of figures. And I just wanted to take stock of where we're at, what's bugging me about the line, what I think McFarlane could do better. I don't want this video to come across as overly negative, but at the same time, I think it's just my opportunity to really get a lot of things off my chest and to generate a discussion in the community about, where there's room for improvement and what we might like to see going forward. So first off, I think it's important to acknowledge all the great stuff. I love the line, I collect it, my channel's all about it. So obviously I have really positive feelings about the line. The prices are pretty good generally, putting aside the Batwing and putting aside the collector's editions, which are really overpriced for what they are. But by and large, prices have been kept pretty low in the line, especially compared to the competitor offering, compared to Marvel Legends, what you get in terms of the plastic. McFarlane's done a pretty good job with the value proposition. Hopefully it can stay that way and he doesn't lose his way. The articulation is improving a lot. So gone are the days of basically no articulation in some of the joints and, wrist joints and ball joints that are just unsculpted balls looking hideous. Now you've got lots of sculpting, double joints everywhere. I think the articulation has come a long, long way. I think, as we all know, McFarlane loves weird and wacky character choices, which, there's a downside to that. But the upside is we get some really cool, crazy figures from sort of all walks of the DC Multiverse. So you get like the Dark Knight's metal stuff, which I know some people think there's too much of that, but you do get some really, really cool figures. A great example of this is, in this sort of line, you'll get a classic Catman on the one hand, which I love, and then on the other hand, you're going to get like David Zavimbe Batwing, which is sort of an off-kilter choice for Batwing, but when are we ever going to get a figure of him again? I don't know. And there's a lot of examples like that in the McFarlane line of, well, we may never actually get a figure again, and so I sort of love that sort of daring that he has in terms of his character choices. What's another thing we love? We love that Build-A-Figures, you only need to collect 4 figures to get your Build-A-Figure, as opposed to 6 or even more in previous lines. So that's good. Some of the sculpts are incredible. And, especially in the Page Punches, DC Direct Page Punches line, some of those Aquaman sculpts are just out of this world. And I think generally the sculpts are really, really good. The line is evolving all the time. So, I really love the way he's taken to cloth capes recently for the Batman figures and then the Batman box set, and for Catman, a cloth cape. I think that's really, really cool. I also love the mega figures. I love that he provides for figures in a slightly larger scale. He doesn't make them Build-A-Figures all the time, which makes them really hard to get. You can just buy the mega figure that you want. And I love that he's doing vehicles as well. The Batmobile, all the Bat Cycles, all this great stuff. I think it's a really, really fun line to collect in general. But without all that out of the way, I sort of just want to move on to some of the things that are bothering me. So point number one. Point number one is there's this sort of a lack of attention to detail that I think is starting to seep into the line. What do I mean by that? I mean, this is sort of a hardcore DC Comics fan line. It's not for kids, it's for collectors. That's the market, the adult collector. And McFarlane, he comes from comics. He's a collector himself. He's a comic book geek. You would expect really, really good attention to detail. And yet, you'll have things like the Doomsday and Superman box set where it's posed as sort of a Death of Superman versus Doomsday set. That's what the artwork on the back implies. And yet the characters look nothing like the inspiration. Superman doesn't have the S on his cape. Doomsday is a more modern version of Doomsday. And it's kind of like, well, who is this for? You know, is this for just the standard guy on the street who doesn't know any better, or is this for the hardcore collector? I think it's for the hardcore collector, and if it is, you need to be careful with that sort of stuff. Either call it a modern Doomsday and Superman, don't refer to Death of Superman anywhere, but if you're gonna do a Death of Superman set, like, make it a Death of Superman set and commit to the details, because comic book fans really care. Another example of this is the collector's edition Alan Scott figure. You know, this is a premium figure. The whole tagline is for collectors, by collectors, and his ring is on the wrong finger. His lantern ring should be on his left hand and it's on his right. You know, that just shouldn't be happening. And it's happening because he's reusing the sculpts. But, you know, someone should pick this up and it should be fixed. Another example is that really awesome Azrael Batman. You can sort of see him just behind me. Great figure, but the colors are wrong. He's too light blue. I just don't know why these choices are made. You know, another example is the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. Really cool sculpt, crazy design. I love that. When are we going to get another figure of that? But the colors are all wrong. You know, he's chosen this wacky green color scheme. That's not the color that the character appears in the comics. So it's just these little things, you know, like if it's for us, if it's for nerds, you know, we are exacting and we pay a lot of money for these figures, and it's just annoying when there's those little details that someone should have picked up on and done something about, and it wouldn't have taken that much more effort, in my opinion. Problem number 2, or issue number 2 that I need to get off my chest, is there's just these weird production issues that crop up from time to time. You know, a famous example of this is the Hush Batman 2-pack with, you know, the grey and black Batman, who just came out in the United States with, you know, incorrectly painted elbows. You know, just bizarre stuff. And, you know, that was fixed for the Australian release, so I was all good. But, you know, that should not be happening. It shouldn't be making it to market. You should hold it back, fix it in the next run, get it out there. And the most glaring example of this, to me, the one that really drives me insane, is the Flash Batmobile with the grey canopy. That should not happen. That was not intentional. And we know it's not intentional because he's fixing that issue with the gold label 2-pack. So that was a rush job, in my opinion, or something that just wasn't picked up. The paint didn't apply to the canopy like he thought it would, or, you know, something went wrong. He didn't fix it. He pushed it to market and we all just sort of accepted it. And I just think we deserve a little bit better than that. And I wish these things would stop happening. Issue number 3. That's 2. 3. So issue number 3 is just like this weird lack of accessories, or, you know, odd accessory choices. And so what do I mean by that? For example, Teen Titans Build-A-Figure Nightwing, no Eskrima sticks, and no, you know, no grippy hands. So, you know, he's just a punchy Nightwing. Like Nightwing, his signature weapon is his Eskrima sticks. He should come with them. They're 2 little sticks of plastic. You know, what gives? Another example, the Shazam Wonder Woman, the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. She was given a tiara as an accessory rather than sculpted into her head. The tiara doesn't even fit in her hands, so it's kind of this pointless accessory, and I had to sort of stick mine under the hair and, you know, custom it to make it look any good. The recent David Zimbe Batwing, no flight stand. He's a flying figure that comes with thrusters. He should come with a flight stand. Blue Beetle, he comes with wings in the battle mode. No flight stand. The Carapax mega figure in the Blue Beetle line, no weapons at all, just two sort of relaxed hands. So Carapax can wave his relaxed hands around. I mean, come on, like, he needs a weapon. Where's the fun? You know, none of the figures come with superpowers anymore. I mean, it's very rare. The Flash figures come with a speed of force effects, but they're pretty lame. But like, he hasn't done a Superman yet with laser eyes or anything like that, or heat vision is what I meant to say. So it's just these little things that would enhance the fun factor that we're just not getting, or the display factor, like a display stand. You know, a little bit more thought needs to be taken with the sort of accessories we're getting. You know, the collector's edition stuff, that series is coming out, and he's wasting packaging space with those little card stands and the cards. No one cares. No one cares about the stand. Give us accessories, a flight stand. You know, that's I think one of my biggest gripes. It's those little things that just really add up. Issue number 4 is the sort of scale and proportion issues. Now, he's getting a lot better. McFarlane is getting a lot better about scale. The first year of the line was incredibly wonky, scale all over the place, but I think things are getting better now. You'll still find the occasional Martian Manhunter who's like way too short, or Hush Batman who's just like way too enormous. Another example is Impulse. It's just completely the wrong body. He's just way too tall. And every now and then you do see the proportion issue crop up, like Arkham Knight Catwoman, her legs are like 50% too long. She looks ridiculous. But like generally he's getting better, but there's like work to do, I would say. Issue number 5. We're getting to the point where I think there's maybe too much reuse and too many repaints. So one of the best things about the line for me in the early days was just the amazing unique sculpts. In the first couple of years of the line, it was just unique sculpt after unique sculpt after unique sculpt. All the like Dark Knight's metal and death metal stuff, every single figure had this crazy detailed sculpt, completely unique with spikes and textures, and it's just like, how is he doing this? Like, this must cost a fortune in tooling. Because every time you produce a new figure, you've got to create a new mold. And I'm like, how is he doing this? This is insane. And then we get to like 2023, and I've noticed the theme for this year is reuse. All companies do this, and it seems like McFarlane is sort of just jumping on the train, and it's probably a cost-cutting thing, and he's battling inflation. There's all these pressures, right? And I understand it, but it's starting to get bothersome. I mean, we have seen so many uses of the John Kent body buck. That really slender, spindly body buck has been used for, Impulse, Project Superman, John Kent, obviously. It's been used for the Wallace West Kid Flash, I should say. It's appearing way too much, and I'm getting kind of sick of it. And he's not making the appropriate adjustments to the mold to make it fit, the other characters. So you'll still see like boot lines or like costume lines that shouldn't be there that are there. A classic one of this was, recently the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle body buck. It was really great when we first saw it. Oh, a classic spandex look. He's since used it for Deadman. He's used it for Captain Atom. He's using it for the Flashpoint Flash. And it's a great buck, and I like it. But it's too many times now, and he's not changing it enough each time, I think. I think this is one of the biggest risks for the line, is that things just start looking generic. And I hope that he can pull back and we can keep those unique sculpts going. I mean, you look at the Blue Beetle sculpts and they're incredible. And I'm like, yes, this is what we need more of. These just crazy fun figures that you get them out of the box and you don't know what they're gonna feel like because it's a whole new mold and a whole new sculpt. And you're like, how is this gonna feel in the hand? Is it heavy? Is it light? How will the articulation work? It keeps a sense of discovery up. And I think that's a big part of the fun factor for collectors. So yeah, that's in terms of like the reuses and the repaints. I think they're getting out of control. Like we are getting like patina editions, Jokerized editions of everything's Jokerized now, which is like fine if you're like a completionist and you just want all these wacky repaints. But for the rest of us, it's actually really boring. For me anyway, personally, I should only speak for myself. It's super boring having all these figures just be Jokerized versions of figures we've already got. Nothing of interest for me there. The line art editions, they're just the San Diego Comic-Con, Nightfall repaint with the shadowing and the Superman with the blue and the red. And that's just like, whew, we are seeing just too many weird variations of everything. And for me, it's just getting a little bit tiresome. I actually think the worst one, and I haven't mentioned it, is the Batmobile Gold Label 2-pack. He's just repackaging the Flash Batmobile with a repaint, the correct paint job it should have had in the first place. Enough. Like, you just can't keep releasing the same figure with a different paint job every 5 seconds. It starts to get frustrating, and I think people will start to disengage. That's what I think. But anyway. Issue number 6. I think McFarlane's strategy in terms of character selection and the timing of releasing of characters is like a little bit weird. For example, he released the red suit Tim Drake Robin like almost a year before he released the green suit Tim Drake Robin that we all wanted. So he released the weird variant first, using the sculpt that was clearly designed for the green version, but he released the sort of like the weirdo variant gold label first. That makes no sense. All it does is make us buy that red version that we don't really want, and then we have to rebuy it. Maybe that's the strategy, but if that's your strategy, it's not much fun for collectors. Stop doing that. Give us the classic version first that we want. Then if you want to give us a variant, give us a variant after, you know? Another example is, you know, in the character choice arena is, you know, we've had 2 Riddlers this year. We've had Arkham Riddler. We're going to get the DC Classics Riddler. We've had 3 Scarecrows in the line. We still haven't got a Poison Ivy. The first Poison Ivy we're going to get this year is in a Batman and Robin movie themed wave with the Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. To me, that is insane. That is our first Poison Ivy in the line. You know, you should be releasing the comic Poison Ivy, the Hush Poison Ivy, the one we really want, maybe an Arkham Poison Ivy. And then if you really want to do a fun movie figure, I'm all for it. But like, stop stringing us along. Give us the thing that we want first, and then keep us hooked with the fun variants after that if we're interested, you know? And I said we've had 3 Scarecrows already, but like we still haven't had a classic comic Scarecrow. And the elephant in the room is, you know, the classic Wonder Woman, which we know we're getting this year or early next year, but like we've taken 3, almost 4 full years to get that, and that's not good enough, in my opinion. You've got to meet the minimum standards, you know, in my opinion. You know, Harley Quinn, you know, we've had like two versions of the movie Harley Quinn. We've had Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, we've had Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, and we've had the comic Harley Quinn from the first year, who kind of looks like the animated series design. So we still haven't got like, you know, a stylistically cohesive comic Harley Quinn that will go with the rest of our comic characters. Like we've had like 15 Jokers and not one, I would say, quintessential, anyway. We haven't had a quintessential Harley Quinn yet. It's nuts to me. And Two-Face, you know, we've got Aaron Eckhart Two-Face, we've got Two-Face as Batman, but we still don't have a comic book Two-Face. We've had Batman 66 give us Two-Face, but we're still waiting for a comic book Two-Face. Like, this is Two-Face. Come on, Todd. And my final point, point number 7, are we up to 7? I think we're up to 7, is the exclusives and the hard to get figures. They are driving me insane. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I'm obviously in Australia and distribution down here is a nightmare. So anything that's hard for you guys to get, you know, in North America, it's like 3 times as hard for me. That's a me problem. But even in America, like I know from talking to people in the community, there are way too many exclusive. People hate the Walmart exclusive because they're impossible to get. You know, people hate the Target exclusive Build-A-Figure waves that come out like once every 3 months and everyone's scrambling to get a flash or scrambling to get, you know, a particular figure because they're just so hard to get and they're always out of stock. And it's like the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, like Catman. You know, I'm in Australia and getting Catman was only possible because of a great, you know, member of the community who's helping me out, shipping me one. These exclusives are just really sucking the fun. And, you know, for some of these, it's like, well, okay, it'd be too expensive to produce mass quantities of a weird figure called Catman. So maybe we're just going to do it an exclusive. I kind of get that. It's a limited quantity, sell it on the store, get it. But like Flashpoint Flash, the classic Flash that everyone wants, and you're making it a Target exclusive. That's not fair and it's not right, in my opinion. You know, everyone was scrambling to get Azrael. You know, everyone wants Azrael. It's a Walmart exclusive. Hard to get. Why? So I just think it's a little bit boring, and I think the exclusive stuff needs to be toned down and just make these figures easy for us to collect. We love the thrill of the hunt. I know that, you know that. We all know that, but at the end of the day, we want the figures that we want, and we shouldn't have to go to eBay and pay crazy scalper prices. It's not fair and it's not right. And I think he needs to do better, or the company needs to do better. And look, that's probably it. I've spent almost 20 minutes ranting. It's not a rant. This is an affectionate rant. This is the stuff that I want to see the line succeed. I want to see it prosper and grow, and I want us to have fun collecting it. And these are the things to me that need to be worked on if we're going to keep the enthusiasm up over the long term and see the line thrive. So Look, I hope that I haven't pissed you off. It's not intended to piss you off. It's kind of just letting me get a lot of things off my chest. I feel better now. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, but be nice. I'm sensitive. If you like this video, subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you would subscribe, that would be really awesome. If we could get me to 1,000, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. And hit the notification bell so that you can see next time I post a video. I'm really hoping soon to get the Batman movie 6-pack in, the collector's edition figures in, and the DC Classics Riddler. Some really good stuff coming. Can't wait to bring you some videos of those. And Catman, when he arrives from the United States, I'm looking forward to cracking him open and reviewing him too. So anyway, that's all from me. Keep collecting, have fun, and I'll see you next time. This video was brought to you with the support of Fett's Hideout Toys and Collectibles. For a great range of toys from DC Multiverse to Black Series to Marvel Legends, Hot Toys and more, visit Fett's Hideout Toys and Collectibles and use the offer code DCDUDE. That's DCDUDE for an exclusive discount month to month. Could be 5% off or $5 off at checkout. Try the code, see what you get, place an order with Fett's, and you won't be disappointed. And we thank Fett's for their continued support of this channel.